In this video, I will talk about tips on proofwriting. Really, after you watch this video, you'll be the most successful at proofwriting if you actually practice over and over again. So I suggest that after you watch this, or even while you're watching it, pause and then practice a proof that's in the same section as the proof that I demonstrate. The first tip for writing proofs is that when you get to the book problem, write everything down. Copy the drawing, copy the given, and copy what you have to prove. That way you don't have to try to fit all your information in the book and you don't have to switch back and forth. It's very important that you are able to interact with your drawing by drawing in the given, drawing in conclusions from the drawing. It just makes your life a lot easier when you can visualize what's happening by drawing and then writing in what's true based off that drawing. Decide the preferred format. I have shown most of my classes the 2-column proof. I've shown one class a paragraph way, and you guys can decide which format that you like, either 2-column or paragraph. Use colored pens or pencils to write on the drawing. Like I demonstrated in class this week, I showed a proof where I proved 2 triangles that are congruent, and I put in one color on the drawing, and then I had to prove something after that. So you can use colors to kind of indicate what part of the proof you're at in your drawing, so you don't mix up what's given with what you are concluding. Go through a plan and write down all your ideas. I haven't really shown this in class because a lot of the proofs that we're doing are 1 or 2 steps. But some of you guys are getting lost in the steps and you've asked, how do I know what order? This might help you to know what order. If you just write down everything that you know is true, whether it's in order or not, you can always see what is concluded based off of what statement later on. This is helpful because often our brains are actually made so that all of our ideas come to us at once. It's not necessarily in order. We can't tell the order because the ideas are coming so fast. Especially you artistically inclined people, your brains usually work on a big picture, then work with the details. That is going to be very helpful for you guys in order to list the statements in sequential order. Here's something that I haven't demonstrated in class either, but this definitely helps me sometimes with a particularly difficult proof. Write the statements first. This helps you organize your thoughts first, and you don't have to go back and forth between whether it's true or why it's true. You can just write down the problem or the conclusions first. Then, after you've written down the conclusions, you can fill in the reasons. It's a lot easier to fill in the reasons if you have all the statements there. You can just go back and forth in your book. It's just a helpful way to sequence. You actually don't have to write all the statements all in order at first. And what I mean by that is if you have one statement, like the given, and then you know that you know the prove, or you know what you have to do right before you prove, you could write those last 2 statements and then fill in the middle. When you have your answer, your final proof, nobody knows what order you wrote it in. It just matters that you have it in the right order on your paper. The reasons are any definition, postulate, property, or theorem. The reasons that we've worked with, I've had you work on writing it in your notes on one page so that you can have one page of access, just to make your life a little bit easier. But especially for A-stream, a lot of these reasons that I've been using are not necessarily in that list because I want you guys to get used to using any theorem, definition, or postulate or property and determine from a list which one makes the most sense. The list of postulates and theorems start on page 692. On page 37, you have your properties listed. And also, all the properties and postulates and theorems for a particular problem are generally in the lesson before. Now, I say generally because sometimes the book uses some previous definitions, postulates, and theorems from like chapters 1 or 2, but you're doing a problem in chapter 4. So that's why I think that the best place to look would be these two pages, 692 and page 37. 692, the postulates are first, and then you have the theorems by chapter. Finally, I have found it helpful in my proof writing that I memorize the theorems that I use the most. This really helps in efficiency when you're writing a test. Then you don't have to spend time looking back and forth from the ones that I give you. You just know right away. Now for an example.